Let's proceed with the next concepts. Okay. Now, the next one is a very simple operator called as an assignment operator. Okay. Now, this is very simple. You might have come across is something like this. Say A equals to 10, right? What are we trying to do here? We are trying to assign, okay, just pay attention to the words. We are trying to assign the value which is there on the right hand side of this expression to the variable which is there on the left hand side, right? So we're trying to assign some value which is there on the its right hand side. Sometime it may be the direct value, or sometime it may be certain expression. Expression in the sense what, say it can happen something like this: b equal to a plus c. Now again, what happens here? The value of a and b, that is value of a and c, will be evaluated. Now in this case, in this example, we call the right hand side over here as an expression, here. This expression will be evaluated first, right? Then we get a value. For example, now here consider c is 20, right? A is 10 and c is 20. Then b will be what? B will get the value based upon what this particular expression on the right hand side gets evaluated. Now a and c first has to be evaluated. Now if you look at a and c, what are this? This is nothing but one arithmetic operation. So this 10 and plus 20, the 10 plus 20 will be calculated. Then you get a value, right? So it will be what? B is equals to 10 plus 20. So again we get a value here 30. So that 30 will be assigned where? It will be assigned to the variable on its left hand side. So assignment operator is something where we assign the value or the expression which gets evaluated, which is there on the right hand side, to the left hand side what we have to an variable. Okay, that is the assignment operator. You need to be very cautious, student, okay, when to use, okay, single equals to and when to use double equals to. This is single equals sign, and then this is double equals sign, double equals. Now who can tell where we use this double equals to sign? When we use this particular double equals to sign?
Logical.
Logical, not logical. Anyone else? Recollect what?
Relational.
Relational. We have one relational operator. Very good. What is that relational operator?
Is equals.
Equals.
Is equals to.
Okay. Is equals to or equals to. Right. Now onwards in our programming. Okay, now onwards in our C programming, wherever you find single equals to, that means what? It is assignment operator. And when you find two equals to symbols, that means what? It is relational operator, that is comparing the two values for equality. That is how you need to remember. Okay, so there is one kind of a code in a programming language. Equals to is not an equals to in programming. Right? Why we say that one? This equals to is not an equals to. Right? It just assigns the value, but real equals to is what? Is equals to, that is double equals to sign. Okay. I hope this assignment operator is understood here. Okay. Now assignment operator again is further used in different methods also. Now for example, now earlier what I wrote here, say b equals to, let's say some more example here. A equals to a plus 10. Now, in this case, what are we trying to do? We are trying to assign. Now again, pay attention here. We are trying to assign. How I can say assign? Because there is a single equals to, right? What value? On the right hand side, what we have? We have an expression here. Expression means again, it consists of certain more operations. Okay. This operation will be calculated first, and then that value will get updated where? To the same variable. Assume that now here, A is 10. Okay, A value is what? 10. Then in the next line, if I write A equal to A plus 10, that means what? First, this equal, on the right hand side, whatever is there, that will be evaluated. A value is 10 plus then 10. This 10 plus 10 will now get where? It will get assigned to the value, that is variable on its right hand side, that is A. So now after this particular statement is executed, what will be the new value of A? It will be 20. Are you following this one, student? Now for example, say B equal to say 50. Then if I write B is equals to B plus 20. Now tell me, after this particular statement or when this particular operation happens, what will be the value of B? What will be the value of?
70.
70.
It will be 70,
70.
right? Now,
70.
yes, very good. Now, what you need to understand here is that right hand side and left hand side, you are finding same variable. Okay, what is common? What is common here? Left hand side is you have the variable, and the right hand side also you have the variable, and both are same here. Then you are using the value of the variable and you are doing some arithmetic operation, and that result you are assigning back onto the same variable, right? So here also the assignment of, there is one technique or one kind of a shortcut in order to write these type of statements. We call it to be a shorthand. We call it as shorthand notations. Shorthand notation. Abhishek, if you don't mute yourself, then I will have to remove from the class. Okay. If you notice here, in these examples, what we have on the left hand side and right hand side, we have the same variable. We are using the same variable. Okay. Instead of writing the statement in this way, we can represent or we can write in another method called as a shorthand notation. The shorthand notation is written something like this. See here, B plus equals to 20. This is very, very important. Understand this one here. What I have written here, B plus equals to 20. Now, another example I will give, then I will explain it here. D minus equals to say 10. Let's say one more example. X, okay, into equals to 3. Assume that, okay, let us assume that, let's take some values first. B equals to 10, D equals to say 50, and X equals to 4. These are the values what we have. Then we are applying something in a shorthand notation. In the first line, what we have written here, B plus equals to 20. That means what? The meaning of this particular statement is nothing but B is equals to B plus 20. Now notice here, this is the shorthand notation. B plus equals to means what? What we need to understand here. Okay, we are trying to add. Why add? There is a plus symbol. We are trying to add what value? 20 value. To what? To the B only. And then again we are assigning it back to B itself. Okay, I will repeat once again. Pay attention here. We are going to do what? We are going to do addition. Between what two operands? One is the B value, another is the 20 value. So B plus 20 we will do, and then we will again assign it back to B. So in a simple notation, this is how it is understood. B is equals to B plus 20. Now, in the same way, can you tell me what will be the, how we can represent the second operation here?
D is
Yeah.
D is equal to D minus
D is equal
10.
to D minus 10.
D minus 10
10.
is equals to D minus 10. How we need to understand here? We need to look into the shorthand notations. In the shorthand notations, always there will be two characters, basically two symbols. First one is the operation, okay, arithmetic operation, and the second one is the assignment operation. In the shorthand notation, you get to see two operators. You get to see two operators. What are those two? First one is the arithmetic operator, and the second one is assignment operator. Now, whenever this arithmetic operator, whichever arithmetic operator is there, that will be happening with the first operand and the second operand. Then it will be evaluated back to its own value. In the third example here, if you notice in the third example, what it is actually x square equals to 3 means what? We are going to calculate something what? X is equals to x into 3. X is equals to x into 3. Understood, student, this one? Assignment operator and the shorthand notations?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then we will proceed with the next type of operator, that is the next one we will see increment and decrement operators. These are the next set of operators, increment as well as decrement operators. First, let us study what actually we mean by increment operator. Okay, now increment, decrement, what strikes to your mind? Increment means we are adding something, decrement means we are subtracting something, isn't it? Yes or no? Increment means we are adding something and decrement means we are reducing something, right? Are they similar to addition and subtraction operation? Are they similar to addition and subtraction? Yes, they are something doing addition and subtraction only, but in a different way. Okay, now I will first give you an example here. Okay, say x is equals to 10. X is, there is one variable by the say integer variable x is equals to 10. Now increment operator is represented with 2 plus symbols. 2 plus symbols. That means if I write x plus plus, if I write x plus plus, that means plus plus here indicates it is nothing but the increment operator. It is nothing but the increment operator. So what is the meaning of this increment operator? X plus plus means x is equals to x plus 1. X is equals to x plus 1. We are incrementing the value of x by how much? By 1. Incrementing means what? Increment operator means what? It will increases or it adds, basically it adds 1 to its variable's value. If it is 10, it will be added to, it will be made as 11. Suppose if the x value is say 99, then if I do x plus plus, x plus plus means what? Plus plus means it is increment operator. Increment means add 1. So add 1 means if I add 1 to the 99, what I get? 100. That 100 will
100.
it will be 100 will be stored in the x only, right? So x, what you need to remember here is that x plus plus means it is nothing but x is equals to x plus 1. Okay, that is increment operator. In the same way, there is something called as an decrement operator. So now you tell me what it could be decrement operator. If you just look into the same notations, decrement is represented
X is equal to x minus 1.
minus symbols. Decrement is written in 2 minus symbols. Now for an example, say y is equals to 20. Okay, then if I write y minus minus and semicolon, if I write y minus minus means what? Minus minus means it is decrement. Decrement means what? Reduce it by 1, subtract 1 from what? From whatever the value of this variable is there. What is the value of variable here? 20. So when this is done, it's nothing but y is equals to y minus 1. Right? We are subtracting the value by 1. That happens when we perform decrement operator. And what about increment? Increment will add value 1 to its variable. Is that understood, student?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now
Yes.
in both increment and decrement, there are two types of, there are two sub classifications actually. There are two sub classifications in increment and decrement. First one we call it to be a post increment, and second one is pre-increment. Post increment and pre-increment. In the same way, in the decrement also we do have two types, like post decrement and pre-decrement. Now, so you might be knowing the meaning of this particular word, post and pre. Post means after, pre means before, right? So increment it after, that is post increment. Pre means increment it before. Okay, now to understand this one, we need to understand few more concepts here. Say, let's take an example. A is equals to 10. Okay, now if I write something, print f, say I'm just writing a printf statement here, printf percentage d, okay, slash, then a. Okay, now tell me what is the output of this one? Output in the sense, when this printf statement is executed, what it will display? A value is
10.
what I'm doing here, printf percentage d a. That means what? I'm displaying the value of a. So what is the value of a here? That is
10.
10.
okay. Now printf percentage d, then comma, here I will write a plus plus. Okay, just don't speak anything. I will explain something here. Okay, this is the first statement. Then second statement is, let me just copy this one and put it here. Second statement is something like this. Okay, pay attention here. Now, this much you understood here. These lines you understood. Value of a is 10 and you are printing that value. When this is executed, 10 will be displayed. Now, next is what? Printf a plus plus. A plus plus.
Is equal to 11.
Just keep silence, maintain silence, don't speak anything. Now, there is a plus plus. That means there are two plus, means what? It is one of the increment operator. It is one of the increment operator. If you just notice here, this plus plus is written where? After writing the variable. I have first written the variable and then after writing the variable, I have written plus plus. That means this is one of the type which belongs to post increment. It belongs to post increment. Post means what? After, right? So this increment operator, I am writing it after this a. Okay, fine, sir. We understood. We have written this after the plus plus a. But what is the actual meaning of this one? The meaning is, it says increment the value later. Increment the value later. Okay, what is actually meaning of increment the value later? Means use the variable first, then increment the value later. Remember this particular sentence. Use the variable first, then increment the value later. Means a value. We are talking about what? A here. What is the value of a? It is 10. Use it first. Use it first means at this line, when this statement is executed, this instant a plus plus will be treated as what? 10 only, because it is post increment. Post means what? Use the value first. Okay, I use the value. Using the value means what? In printf statement, this is one statement, printf statement, use the value first. So it will display 10. Next time, suppose next time if you are using the same value, that is same variable a, for example, if I'm using this again, like printf percentage d, this time the a will be displayed as what? 11. A will be displayed as 11. Why it happens? Because you need to understand all these four statements in a proper way. First, what is there? A equal to 10. Okay, that means a value is 10. I'm just displaying that value here. So 10 will be displayed. Next statement is what? This one. Printf percentage d a plus plus. Now a plus plus is there. Plus plus means what? It is an increment. Where it is written? Before or after? After. After means what? Post increment. Post increment means what? You have to think. Post means first I have to use the value. Value of what? The a value. So a value is 10. Use it first. Use it first means you just print this. Since it is a printf, so you print the value. So you get the 10 value. But what it says, then increment the value later. Later means what? In the next statements, if you come across with the same variable a, that time it shouldn't be used as the old value. It should be used as what? The incremented value. Incremented value means what? 10 plus 1. So a will be taken as 11 over here. That is the meaning of post increment. That is the meaning of post increment. Whereas if we are using something called as a pre-increment, okay, pre-increment, that is pre-increment. Say pre-increment, again take the same example. I will just take the same example. Say a is equals to, let us take some different variable. B is equals to say 20. Okay, B is equals to 20. Now I will write some statements here. First one is printf percentage b, percentage d and b. Okay, what it will do? It will print the value of b. So what is the value of b? That is 20. Okay, understood this one? B value is 20. I'm just printing that value as 20. Next line, what I will do is I will again try to print something like this. Okay, printf. Understand this one. I'll just remove this one. Okay, printf percentage d plus plus b. Okay, now here is plus plus b. So I know plus plus means what? It is increment. Okay, but I do also know that if plus plus is written before, then it has to be called as what? It has to be called as pre-increment. Pre means what? Before. Before increment means what? Okay, increment the value first, then use it. Understand this one. Plus plus b, that is pre-increment, means increment the value first, then use it. Means b value is what now? B is 20. Before you use it, you increment it. Why before? Because it is pre-incrementation. So b will be incremented to 21. Why 21? It has to add 1 to the 20. So it becomes 21, and then the 21 will be displayed when this statement is executed. If you notice the difference between this pre and post, what happens? In the pre, whenever you write a plus plus, it was retained as 10 itself at that moment, but it will be incremented next time whenever this a was used. But whereas in the pre-incrementation, what has happened? The value was incremented first. Value was incremented first and then was used. Just remember these two sentences here. Okay, first one is this one. What happens in the post increment? What happens? Post increment, use the variable first, then increment the value later. Whereas in the pre increment, okay, what has to be done? Increment the value first and then use it. Increment first and then use it. This is about what the pre and post increment. Is this understood, student? Definitely we are going to look into the few more examples later, but is it understood with a simple one example?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now on the same aspects, on the same concepts, there is another type of operator, what we call it to be decrement operator. There is something called as an decrement operator. So what you think here, decrement means what? As I said earlier, subtract 1, right? We have to subtract 1 from that particular variable. It is represented with again minus symbol. Then again there are two things here. One is what? Post decrement.
Decrement.
So post decrement means what should happen? Use the variable
First.
use the variable first, then
Then
decrement, and then
decrement the value later.
value later.
Later.
Right? First you use the value and then you decrement. In the same aspect, we have pre-decrement. Pre-decrement means what will happen here? Decrement the value first, then use it. So example, so we didn't understood this decrement, the post and pre-decrement. Give us certain examples. Yes, it goes here. Say A is equals to 10. A is equals to 10. Now, if I write print F, say percentage D, okay, comma, then A. Okay, we know, sir, it prints what? It prints 10. Right? Then, so next, if I write one more statement here, print F, percentage D, okay, then A minus minus. Okay, now it is not a single variable, but rather it is an one of the operator, right? What type of operator? Decrement operator. Again, in next I need to ask one more question here. Is it a pre-decrement or a post-decrement? Now, how I can get the answer? Where this particular plus plus is written, that is minus minus is written. Is it after the variable or before the variable? It is written after the variable, right? It is written after the variable. That means what? It is post decrement. Post decrement means what has to be done? Use the variable first and then decrement. So use the variable first and then decrement later means, so it is going to print 10 only. Suppose next time this is printf, right? Next time this particular variable is used to print, during that time it will become how much?
9.
It will become 9, because
9.
it was in the previous statement, it was a minus minus, means it was supposed to decrement next time. So next time whenever it was used, it is 9. Right? Now, on the contrary, if we are writing something with the pre-decrementation, say B is equals to 20, then if you display the B value, it will display 20. Then if you do pre-decrementation minus minus B, notice here minus minus B means decrement, but what type? Pre-decrement. Pre means what? Before you use it, you decrement it. That means it is going to display what? A 19 value. A 19 value.
9.
Because it is a pre-decrementation. It is pre-decrementation. Now tell me, what this particular statement will print now? Printf percentage B, percentage D and B. What will be the output here?
19.
What do you think? Is it 19? Is it 18? Is it 20 or what?
18.
19.
19.
It is
19.
It is 19 only. Why 19? Because if you just look into the sequence here, initially it was 20, we are displaying it 20. Then there is a pre-decrementation, means you decrement it first and then you use. So we decremented the 20, what we got 19, so that 19 we displayed it here. Next time again I'm printing what? B only. What actually B contains now? 19 itself.
19.
Further going to decrement. It is not further going to decrement.
19.
Suppose if I write here minus minus, right? Then it will display 18.
18.
Then it will display 18. Following this? Now, answer
Yes,
to
sir.
now. If I write plus plus, what it will display?
20.
20.
Now,
20.
display 19 only. It is a post increment, means you use the value. So what is the value? 19. So 19 I used it. Suppose next time if I write a statement here, next time if I write a statement B here, that time what will be the value of B? 20. 20. Why 20? Because I have incremented it in the previous statement. Okay. Don't worry if you are finding it a little difficult to understand. eventually most of our programs, wherever we write the operations increment and decrement, you will come to know the how the pre-increment was and post-increment was. So as of now, just remember that increment and decrement means what? We need to add something, we need to subtract something. What is that something here? That is 1. So increment and decrement operators represented as plus plus and minus minus. It has its own two classifications, that is post increment and post pre-increment. This post and pre, how they are decided? Where we write this particular operator. Is it before the variable or after the variable? If it is before the variable, then it is pre-increment. And if it is after the variable, then it is post-increment or the corresponding decrement operator. To remember here is, these are the words. Okay. Post means first we have to use, post means we have to first use that particular variable value and then do whether the decrement or increment. In the pre, we need to first perform that operation, whether it is increment or a decrement, and then we have to use it. Is that followed, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there are any questions, let me know. Okay, Nikhil, will you unmute yourself? You have certain questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Nikhil.
Yes, sir.
If x is equals to 20, right? Something. Let me just write it over here. Okay. If x is equals to 20, okay, then in increment operator, it will be x is equals to x plus 20. This is your question.
Yes, sir.
So increment.
Sir, doubt, sir.
This is okay, doubt, okay, probably is doubt. If x is equals to 20, okay, then increment, that is increment means say x plus plus or plus plus x, anything. So here it is nothing but x is equals to x plus 1. This is 1. So what will happen? X is 20, so it will be what? X is equals to 20 plus 1. It is not x is equals to x plus 20. It is x is equals to 20 plus 1. This 20 is coming from whom? It is coming from its own value. Increment or decrement means we are either adding 1, that is happens when we perform increment. Okay. And if we are decrementing, then it will subtract 1 from that. Understood? I hope it answers your question.
Yes,
Any
sir.
other questions? If there are no questions, go ahead and enter your attendance.
So when is the test?
Test is a surprise test, miss. It is going to be a surprise. On any particular day, you may expect a test.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
whether it's increment or decrement, we have to add or subtract by only 1, right,
Yes.
sir?
Yes. Only 1. Whether it is an increment or a decrement. If it is increment, we have to add by only 1, not by 2. If it is a decrement, we are subtracting 1. We don't subtract any other value. We subtract by only 1.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, for test both chapters?
Yes, both the chapters.
So can we get the notes on the second chapter?
Second chapter, you need to, as of now, you need to prepare yourself. Whenever I'm teaching, you have to make a note of the content in a rough book. That is the challenge I'm giving it to you students.
Yes.
Yeah. And once that is done, once the test is done, and after that, probably next week, if I'm sure, say around 10-15 days, you will be having your first internal assignments, internal examinations. Okay, for that, definitely before well in advance, I will provide you the notes. But for the test which I'm going to conduct in this week, I'm not going to provide the notes as of now. You need to prepare yourself. Okay, that is the one challenge I'm giving it to students. Okay, then if there are no other questions, we will wind it up. If there are any questions, please note it down and you can ask me in the next class. Shall we wind up now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.